As we step closer and closer to the release of Mass Effect Legendary Edition, new fans and old fans are starting to dive deeper into the Mass Effect universe than ever before. So in both preparation and celebration, let's take a look at these 7 races that you may not know about. Mind you that most of the material found in the video are fan depictions and speculation of what some of these species might have been or looked like. Number 1. The Arthen. The Arthen flourished across multiple worlds in the Zelenia system some 300,000 years ago. Their homeworld appears to have been Helime, a dead planet where all complex life was wiped out in an unknown cataclysm. The third planet in the system, Epho, was mined or otherwise settled before these settlements were wiped out by kinetic impacts. Material debris suggests Artheni technology was equal to the current galactic state-of-the-art, which basically means that this species' technology were roughly the same as the system's alliance. Number 2. The Densorin. The Densorin were a race that existed at the time of the Protheans. At some point they fought a war against the Orovorce, which we'll talk about later in this video. When the Reapers invaded the galaxy, the Densorin attempted to pacify them by sacrificing their children to them, but this only allowed the Reapers to destroy the Densorin more quickly. The Densorin are known to have studied celestial mechanics and morphological simulations of galactic language, topics beyond the understanding of even the Protheans, making the Densorin highly advanced. This information tells us that the Densorin are very reminiscent of the ancient Mayan civilization, whom are known historically to have sacrificed children to the gods and at the same time being very knowledgeable in astronomy and math. Number 3. Now this might be the most famous of the background races in Mass Effect, the Inusanon. The Inusanon were a spacefaring race that existed at least 127,000 years ago. Little is known about them except that they warred with another race, the Thorhan, over colonization rights to the garden world Ain-Gana, and that they inhabited Ilos at some point. The Inusanon were eventually wiped out by the Reapers. Tens of thousands of years later, the ruins of Inusanon civilization provided the Protheans with the knowledge necessary to develop Mass Effect technology. This knowledge was then used to construct the mini-mass relay used to send Shepard to the Citadel in Mass Effect 1. We also know roughly what they look like, since the statues found on Ilos are commonly perceived to be of the Inusanon. Number 4. The Orovorce. The Orovorce were an aggressive sapient species that existed around the same time as the Protheans. The species often was searching for resources to exploit, which once brought them toward the Asari homeworld of Thessia, as they attempted to strip it of its abundant resources. The Asari at this point in history were not spacefaring, and would have been exterminated completely had the Protheans not intervened and drove the Orovorce away from Thessia. The primitive Asari interpreted this conflict as their god Athame, or Athame, meaning the Protheans, protecting them from all the other jealous gods, meaning the Orovorce. The species also fought a war with the Densorin, though the meaning of the conflict is unknown. Whether the Orovorce won or lost the war is also unknown. The Orovorce are currently extinct, but the cause of their extinction is unknown. However, since they existed around the same time as the Protheans, a likely cause for their extinction was likely brought upon them by the Reapers. Who knows? Maybe we'll revisit this aggressive race in the future. Number 5. The Thorhan. The Thorhan were an ancient sapient species that appears to have existed much earlier than the Protheans. Long ago, they waged war with the Inusanon, our tentacled-faced friends. Remains of starships can be found orbiting Ain-Gana and its moon, Baraya. Both races inadvertently transformed the garden world of Ain-Gana into a toxic wasteland, filled with mutant creatures, which tended to have biotic abilities because of all the element zero that polluted the planet. The Thorhan are currently extinct, though it's unknown whether this was the result of the Inusanon, the Reapers, or something else entirely. Number 6. The Zayav. The Zayav were an ancient spacefaring race that built millions of elaborate crypts on the surface of the planet Armeni. Not much else is known about this species, unfortunately. Number 7. The Ja-Til. The Ja-Til were a synthetic race that existed at the time of the Protheans. They originated when a race known as the Ja implanted themselves with symbiotic AI technology to enhance their intelligence in order to survive, as their homeworld became inhospitable. When the Reapers arrived, they subjugated the AIs that served this race, which the Ja called the Ja-Til, who then seized control of the bodies of their masters and altered their genetic material at the deepest level, transforming the Ja themselves into synthetic monsters and their offspring into slaves, sort of like the husks and the foot soldiers of the Reapers. The Jatil proceeded to multiply into mechanical swarms that blotted out the skies. The Reapers indirectly caused the Medican War, which erupted between the Jatil and the Prothean Empire to ensure that synthetics would always turn upon their masters, thereby forcing the harvest to take place. With no other recourse, the Protheans had to send the star of the Shah's home system into a supernova, destroying the Jatil entirely. This conflict is very reminiscent of the Geth-Quarian conflict, as the Reapers again tried to force the Geth and Quarians to wipe each other out in order to motivate their harvests. Through this information we also find out that the Prothean Empire was extremely powerful, but they still couldn't contend with the Reapers. The Reapers also had to force their motivation into reality during this conflict, which makes you question if the Catalyst was just a faulty AI all along. Thank you guys again for watching and supporting the channel, it means a lot to me. Let's make Mass Effect Legendary again. 1 million subscribers. Woo!